buttercup, you're a puppy dog. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today, we're headed down to Texas,
right?
The Tesla Gigafactory in Austin. You know where they're building the Cybertruck. Because today we're talking about a pretty wild matchup. An almost alien Cybertruck going head-to-head with a Lamborghini Urus in a good old-fashioned drag race.
That's right. You know, this isn't just some Texas-sized spectacle either, this matchup. It really highlights what's happening. In the automotive world right now, you've got Tesla, this upstart, challenging the old guard with their electric pickup truck.
Yeah.
And then you have Lamborghini, a name synonymous with high-performance combustion engines.
Right, and it's not just comparing brochures. This is a real-world test, thanks to the team at CarWow, to see which machine really reigns supreme. So in one corner, we've got the tri-motor Cyber Beast version of the Cybertruck. This thing is packing a monstrous 845 horsepower.
Yeah.
And 930 millimeters of torque.
Whoa.
Which is just a fancy way of saying it's got a whole lot of muscle for pulling and accelerating. But it's also a hefty beast, weighing in at over 3 tons.
Yeah. That weight, that's a really key factor here. You know, it can be a double-edged sword in a drag race. On the one hand, it can help with traction, keeping those massive tires glued to the pavement. But on the other hand, it's a lot of mass to get moving. Like, imagine trying to push a small car versus a large truck. The truck is going to take a lot more effort to get going.
Right. And in the other corner, you have the Lamborghini Urus. It's packing a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, putting out 650 horsepower and 850 millimeters of torque. It is lighter than the Cybertruck, walking in at just over 2 tons. But make no mistake, this is a serious contender with years of engineering and refinement behind it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it this way. The Urus is like a seasoned athlete at the peak of their game. It's got the pedigree, the training, the precision. But the Cybertruck, it's like the rookie who's come out of nowhere, defying expectations with raw power and a completely different approach.
So glancing at the spec sheet, this looks like a pretty close matchup, right?
Absolutely.
But as we all know, the real story unfolds on the track. And in this case, the track is a brand new stretch of asphalt at the Gigafactory. With construction still buzzing in the background, it adds a layer of grit and unpredictability to the whole event.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it's really interesting, you know, because the Cybertruck's electric powertrain has a secret weapon. It's all about that instant torque, that immediate surge of power the moment you hit the accelerator.
Okay, so let's break down this first drag race, where both vehicles are starting from a standstill, the engines roar, the anticipation builds, and then they're off. The Cybertruck, leveraging that instant electric torque, bursts off the line, leaving the Urus in its dust.
It's like comparing a slingshot to a bow and arrow. The slingshot releases all of its energy at once, while the bow and arrow take time to build up that force. And the Cybertruck is that slingshot, delivering instant acceleration. That the Urus just can't match. In those first few crucial moments.
Yeah, and the footage is incredible. You can see the Cybertruck crossing the quarter-mile mark in a blistering 11.2 seconds. The Urus puts up a respectable time of 12.3 seconds. But it's a pretty significant difference. And the drivers' reactions. Their jaws practically drop. They seem genuinely taken aback by the Cybertruck's performance.
You know what's fascinating is the Urus's time is actually a bit slower than what we typically see from this vehicle. It could be the surface of that makeshift track or some other factor. But even with a less than ideal run, it still couldn't keep up with the electric newcomer.
So we're already starting to see that maybe. This whole matchup is about more than just winning or losing a drag race. It's about the changing landscape, the performance itself. And the Cybertruck isn't even marketed as a supercar, yet here it is, beating a Lamborghini off the line.
It definitely makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are we at a turning point where electric vehicles are not just about being green and efficient, but also about raw power and exhilarating performance?
That's a great question. And we're just getting started. They didn't just do one drag race. Next, they pit these vehicles against each other in rolling races.
Yeah.
Which is where things get even more intriguing.
So they decided to up the ante a bit. With some rolling races, this time they're starting at 30 miles per hour. And then 40 miles per hour, giving both vehicles a little momentum before unleashing their full power.
Right.
You'd think that would give the Urus a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
Maybe utilize that higher top speed that traditional supercars are known for.
Yeah, you would think so. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Cybertruck, with that instant torque, just continues to pull away. From the Urus in both races, it's almost effortless. Like, it's not even trying.
Yeah.
The Urus is putting up a good fight, don't get me wrong, but it's just no match for that relentless acceleration of that electric powertrain.
Remember we talked about the Cybertruck being like a slingshot? Well, imagine that slingshot being constantly loaded and ready to fire. That's what it's like with electric motors. There's no lag, no need to build up revs, like a traditional combustion engine. The power is just there, on tap, whenever you need it.
And you can see the frustration building in the driver of the Urus. He even tries to outsmart the Cybertruck by starting in second gear, hoping to get a better initial jump. But it's no use. The Cybertruck just keeps pulling away, like a cheetah chasing down its prey.
Yeah, it's a real testament to how electric motors are changing the game when it comes to performance. We're so used to thinking of horsepower as the main measure of a car's speed. But when it comes to EVs, torque is the real star of the show. It's that rotational force that gets you moving. And the Cybertruck has it in spades.
And this isn't just about beating a Lamborghini in a straight line. What we're seeing here is a glimpse into the future of performance vehicles. EVs are no longer just about efficiency and sustainability. They're becoming genuine contenders in the realm of speed, power, and let's be honest, sheer driving excitement.
Absolutely. It's a real wake-up call for traditional automakers. They can no longer afford to dismiss electric vehicles. As a niche market, consumers are demanding performance. And it's clear that EVs can deliver.
Okay, so the Cybertruck has proven itself in the acceleration department, both from a standstill and at speed. But what about stopping power? That's just as important, especially when you're talking about vehicles that can move this fast.
Yeah, now that's where things take a really interesting turn. The final challenge was a brake test from 70 miles per hour. And you have to remember, the Cybertruck is a big, heavy truck riding on those chunky off-road tires. The Urus, on the other hand, is equipped with performance summer tires specifically designed for grip.
Right.
You would think the Urus would have a clear advantage here.
Common sense would dictate that.
But remember, we're talking about the Cybertruck here, and defying expectations seems to be its specialty. Because believe it or not, the Cybertruck wins the brake test. It comes to a complete stop in a shorter distance than the Urus. And it's not just by a small margin either. The difference is noticeable. So how does a heavy truck on off-road tires outperform a Lamborghini on performance rubber?
Yeah, well,
it's all thanks to the magic of regenerative braking.
Right, I was just about to say that. You see, regenerative braking allows electric vehicles to capture energy that's normally lost during braking and use it to recharge the battery. It's like having an extra set of brakes that are also generating electricity.
Exactly. And in the Cybertruck's case, this regenerative braking system, combined with traditional hydraulic brakes, creates some serious stopping power. It's a fascinating example of how electric vehicles can leverage technology to achieve performance levels that would be difficult, if not impossible, to replicate with combustion engines.
And this has implications that go far beyond a drag race. Think about it. If a truck like this Cybertruck can brake this well, what does it mean for the safety of all electric vehicles? Could this technology lead to shorter stopping distances, potentially preventing accidents?
It's certainly a possibility worth exploring. And it's not just about safety either. Imagine the implications for performance driving. Being able to brake later and harder into corners without sacrificing stability or control. This technology could really change the way we think about high-performance driving.
So, we've witnessed the Cybertruck conquer the drag strip, both from a standing start and at speed, and we've seen it defy logic by outbraking a Lamborghini in a high-speed stopping test. Now it's time to step back and consider the bigger picture. What does it all mean? So we saw the Cybertruck absolutely dominate those drag races, both from a standstill and rolling, and even outbraking the Lamborghini Urus in that 70-mile-per-hour roll brake test.
Yeah. It's a truly impressive performance, and one that really challenges our preconceived notions about what electric vehicles are capable of.
You know what? The Cybertruck's performance in this head-to-head isn't just a win for Tesla. It's a win for electric vehicles as a whole. It shows that EVs can compete and even outperform traditional gas-powered vehicles in ways that, honestly, we might not have imagined.
Yeah, it really does. It raises a really important question for all of us. What does this mean for the future of the automotive industry? Are we on the verge of a major shift, where electric vehicles become the dominant force, not just in terms of efficiency and sustainability, but also in performance and practicality?
Yeah, it's certainly something to think about. And it's not just about speed and power either. The Cybertruck, with its unique design and its focus on durability and utility, It represents a different kind of vehicle. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about doing so in a way that's both sustainable and, let's be honest, really cool.
Yeah, it's a glimpse into a future where performance and practicality are no longer mutually exclusive, where electric vehicles aren't just an alternative, but the preferred choice for drivers who want it all.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, it means that the future of driving is electric, and it's coming faster than you might think. It means that the days of gas-guzzling, exhaust-spewing performance cars might be numbered.
And it means that a truck that looks like it drove straight out of a sci-fi movie, can take on a Lamborghini and win.
It's a good reminder that innovation can come from unexpected places, and that we're entering a truly transformative era in the automotive world.
Absolutely. We've only scratched the surface of this topic today, and we encourage you to continue exploring the world of electric vehicles and their rapidly evolving capabilities. There's a whole universe of information out there waiting to be discovered.
So keep your eyes open, keep your minds curious, and remember, the next time you see a Cybertruck on the road, it might just be the future passing you by.
That's right. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.
Sound the alarm, I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a puppy dog. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.